Hey, thank you very much for waiting. We are back again for the second game of the day. Now we're going to be going over to Miramar, the desert map. It was redemption time for no tag team, and I saw another bunch of teams are going to try now and get those points under their belt.
Yeah, of course. We've had 5 games so far in Group B. We've had 5 different winners. As you do look at the overall standings, Northern Lights, they did finish placing points third in that last game, got 11 points in total for their side, and they have 42 points in total.
I'm just looking at no tag team once again. They jumped over from 14th position before that game up to now 4th with 37. We talked about it in just one game. The 4 games of yesterday, they just caught up the entire lead.
Exactly. And what's more important is they're only 5 points behind Northern Lights. It's still close because even between first and 9th place, there's only 12 points. So it's really close so far in the majority of Group B. Even when you look at Jokers down in 11th place, hell, even 4 Kings down in 13th place, they're on 21 points. That's only 21 points away from Northern Lights. That's a chicken dinner. That's a chicken dinner and a half. It's absolutely nothing, especially when we still have so many games to come in this phase.
Because you've got a total of 8 days for every single group overall, so 32 games total. So this is just a very, very start. So all of these teams, even Tempest that were a little bit in a struggle, they can come back. Talked about it earlier, their team was a lot of potential. I'm sure they can make it through. Let's hope that is what's going to happen for them on this Miramar game.
So now we look at the playing trajectory. It's very central from the southwest to the northeast. Hell, even if one of these teams want to drop in Campo Militar, it's going to be easy access. San Martin, Monte Nuevo, Pecado, even towards the kind of Los Higos area is definitely accessible. Even El Pozo will, of course, be prominent. But again, like I kind of mentioned before, especially in Miramar, I feel it's super important is knowing if you can't get to your location that you want to head to, like maybe Impala or Puerto Paraiso, is knowing where these vehicle spawns are, Max, so you can get the majority of the vehicles. Not only are you denying the vehicles away from your opponents, you're getting as many vehicles, which in Miramar and Miramar and Erangel, but especially Miramar, when you have kind of 4 vehicles on your side, it just helps create that extra level of protection, creates that wall down the line in the later stages of the game. And of course, even if one is blown up, you still have a couple of vehicles to exit if you need to.
Yeah, because if you don't have enough, unfortunately, getting caught out in the open, especially in Miramar, it is a little bit scary to deal with. But here it is. The teams are dropped in their main drop-in locations, 1 minute 30. And here it is. Oh, very high, actually, up the northern and west side. So away from the coastline, thank you very much. We can see what these teams can do with these high grounds towards La Cubriera, El Pozo, and also San Martin. I would like to see some San Martin rotations coming on through because you have a lot of teams actually on the eastern side here. They're going to have to try and do something about this.
Yeah, Team Oops, who had occupied the center of circle on most of the last game, are now on the edge, but I'm sure they'll, once they're looted up a bit, they'll look to move into the center. MJ-Esports are very close to the center circle. What's interesting right now with this phase 1 is that there's a lot of mountain areas in between the roads around the center of the circle outside of El Pozo that these teams will want to get a hold of and hold down and call their own, so to speak. As you do see Tempest, they do have lovely Picado all to themselves.
Yeah, all Picado once again. The arena in Picado, just so much loot. I love that area. That's my go-to drop location on Miramar. They can try and get whatever they want under their belt. Huge potential. One team that's really, really far out, actually, on the eastern side. If they want to rotate, they might have to go through one team such as ELGIGANTEN, but because they're so split, it should be still a pretty easy net to get through. So they still have a pretty nice entry point, because also this first phase circle, there's nobody in the northern part. So you've got so many compounds to share between all of these teams. They can try and rotate, and they still got a lot of areas to call home.
It's going to be really interesting. I was talking to Thersha. I hope he doesn't mind. We kind of calling him out. Thersha, the manager of M47, being really helpful in kind of me learning a lot more about PUBG and just getting so much more involved in the community. I was kind of talking to him about kind of differences between the Mini 14 and the likes of the SLR and why the players seem to kind of favour the Mini 14 compared to the SLR. And actually, was it Thersha? No, my apologies. It was actually Hayes. Sorry, Hayes, the streamer Hayes. I've been talking to a couple of people, but he kind of said that part of the reason why people prefer the Mini 14 is because it's 5.56 ammo, so it weighs less, so you can actually fit more. So if you have an M4 and a Mini 14, it just means you have more room for the likes of utility meds and nades. But SLR is actually a preference for him because the recoil on it is a little bit more straightforward. It's a little bit more up and down for him, that he can personally kind of control it a bit better. But he also understands why Mini 14 is so popular for these players.
Yeah. Going to see a lot of those weapons come through, especially on Miramar, where the long-range weaponry will be at its peak use. Tempest, we talked about them earlier, and Picardo, they're going for early rotations towards the very, very center of this map, of this first circle phase, so that's going to be just fine going for a cube compound on the top of this hill on this plateau. They should not get stormed normally because it's a really nice area to defend for themselves. It was a 4-man team, and Brute Force, they like playing pretty far off of each other. And HalloSenpai, we saw him earlier against the likes of Istanbul Wildcats in that first game. He likes to play split, but just don't get overzealous. You are a scout, just don't get caught out of position. KnorkiS there too.
Yeah, KnorkiS from Red Foxes. As I mentioned before the previous game, they're a relatively kind of new team for a lot of these teams around them. They qualify for the contenders from the PEL Open stage, and they have made a huge impact after day one and looking to continue it as the rest of this phase goes on. So Freenop, Jevles, they're a little bit kind of pinching HalloSenpai, but there's still plenty of space for him to kind of dance and move around away from those shots. He's just got to be very aware and, kind of hold on to every perspective that he can.
I'm just scared to see if KnorkiS will be scouting out. HalloSenpai, going to be the battle of the scouts on this one for the first fight of the game. HalloSenpai does have the high gun, does have the cars protection. Here it is, 25 damage, does connect on top of HalloSenpai, but clapping right back. Down to now 1/3 HP, and as I say that, that's going to be HalloSenpai taken out of the picture, knocked away. KnorkiS down to 62 HP, but he does get the kill stolen by Northern Lights.
I was just going to say, he had to be careful, and I think he realized this because Perfectus for Northern Lights was also firing a couple of shots in that direction, as you correctly point out. The frag was taken away from Northern Lights, so,
Yeah, a kill is a kill.
A kill is a kill. Sometimes it's like taking candy from a baby, as they say. So you get the opportunity, you take it, and you move on forward. But now Brute Force trying to drive on through, firing a couple of shots onto Spyro.
Spyro taken out by AmerouuS from Brute Force. Brute Force, once again, they love denying rotations. They did it last game on their angle, doing it once again on Miramar. Pretty good compound. They did lose one of their members earlier. Hawk, be careful, down to pretty low HP. Try and keep that in mind. Still, Red Foxes, other side of the road. They're still both team actually doing really good to try and shut down that rotation from Northern Lights. And Northern Lights actually surrounded by so many teams. Also in the mountains behind them, another team is there. This is very bad for them.
Well, it's of course it's not the most comfortable, but with this kind of circle, the teams are just trying to make their way into the central area. As I said, those high grounds are so important, so that's where the teams are heading for, right? So that's why there's a few more early game fights than we've seen in previous games, especially Miramar as Apocalypse from Istanbul Wildcats firing shots over on the side of huge potential in the compound down below.
And there's huge potential, as I said earlier. There were one team that were very far on the east. They did rotate in, find a compound in a high area here of San Martin, but be careful, Istanbul Wildcats, they are up there doing a 2-2 split, but still this should not be a reason for this cube compound to be taken over. Huge potential, they should be just fine for the long run. They are pretty central on this next phase. Tempest, another team, they rotated really early on from Picardo, went dead center, but this area is actually pretty well to work with. But no team seem interested in taking this over from Tempest, so they should be good for the next few minutes, or the next few phases maybe, if it does shift over to them.
Yeah, they hold on to a bit of a multi-angle split inside those compounds, so holding the perspectives, holding the angles that they need to for now in the early stages of the game. It's still not phase one. Like we've had it's even though it's only been 2 kills, right? We've had a couple of knockdowns and just shots being fired across these teams that feels like we're a little bit further into the game than we are. And it's kind of, I was looking at the timer going, what, only 8.5 minutes? It feels like we're about 12.
Feels like the late game.
Yeah, well, yeah, it feels like kind of 12 to 15 minutes in. But as I said, with high ground being so prominent in Miramar and this circle having a lot of high ground that these teams can occupy, we are seeing these early game interactions as red.
Talked about Northern Lights earlier. They were in 3 scary situations. They got away from it, which is great from them. And actually some coverage shots coming out from Perfectic. Just find that one scout from Red Foxes earlier with Metabay. They're going to be very close together. And actually, Red Foxes, they're going to be shifting away. But they are still in the next phase of the circle. And they can try and actually turn the tides against the likes of Brute Force and Northern Lights.
Yeah, so we did see a shift more towards the north. Still a little bit kind of down south, but definitely more towards the north. El Pozo is very easily occupied. You have the likes of Team Unique and Jokers moving in from the west. El Pozo, will it be an El Pozo finish? You have the kind of the open field area to the south of El Pozo, which is a bit of a dead area, unless you can kind of get that compound. You also have the Crater Fields, which is a bit of a dead area, so none of these teams will really want to kind of heavily go there, at least no more than kind of one team. We do see PG-18 going there. So these teams now moving on forward, driving their way into the center circle. El Pozo is going to be hotly contested.
Yeah, lots of nice locations over there. MJ-Esports, we talked about them. One team wanting to go in El Pozo. They're going to be one of the first teams there, actually, as Red Foxes also. They're going to try and claim that location as their own. Kofest, Metabay, Jevles. Going to get close and personal with the likes of MJ-Esports. Be careful. Back over to the fight of 4 Kings. And huge potential. I'm not looking too good on that rotation on the east. They're going to be losing 1 member. It's going to be Grishka. E-Hop res back up to 75% HP. That's going to be just fine. Now the huge potential team will be back as a full squad. And they can try and play a little bit more now on this edge of the circle.
They do have 4 Kings close by. They also have Brute Force close by. But Brute Force are making their own way into the circle. As Airstation Mike going up against Team MOOPHEUS. For now, Reggie Birdo holding the top of that mountainside. It's a bit of a 2-2 split. Hugstar on his own in the compound. Now kind of moving away, going to the edge of it just to make sure. Now ToWzErA fake. The cavalry has arrived, although Team MOOPHEUS will have been given that information because they have a bit of a 2-2 split, meaning that Double is just going to be able to back off.
Also, I'm not really surprised to see Hugstar so far away from his team at that point, just being the scout and the entry point for his team because he is one of the top kills, top damage overall in that first day yesterday. So one of the most confident players, if not in this phase. Really, though, Airstation Mike. Oh my god, peekaboo, let's go! Hugstar going to be knocked away, but still his team is close by, should be fine. But though, MOOPHEUS also going to be losing double with that nice nade from fake.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a, I wouldn't say a direct one-on-one trade, but the frag has been secured on the side of fake from Airstation Mike. The grenade came through. I don't think it did quite connect in that moment as KnorkiS doing what he can to keep Team MOOPHEUS in this game as a squad, but shots were fired as we did see KnorkiS throw out that Molotov. Didn't quite connect, if I'm not mistaken, as ToWzErA, fake, Hugstar, and Jazza. They hold kind of 4 separate little buildings, so going for a bit of a kind of multi-angle split. Makes sense with the nade meta being so prominent. There's less chance the full squad is going to be wiped out from just 1 or 2 grenades.
Especially also to keep in mind Team MOOPHEUS, they do have Hawkeye on the high ground a little bit behind them. That can come in play if you do see the likes of Airstation Mike trying to push on forward as the next phase does shift away. Pretty central shift towards El Pozo once again and create a field, so that's going to be between that kind of area for the next phase. But still, this fight will be ongoing. And seem like the Team MOOPHEUS, they don't really give up on this fight. Hawkeye, be careful though. 4 Kings will be rotating over there, kind of catch him out of position.
Could look to possibly third party.
Exactly.
Time will tell.
Why not?
We did see no tag team. The center, the second that circle exposed itself, they instantly got in those vehicles and went into El Pozo. I do like it, but Red Foxes are there.
No.
Jevles does secure frag onto O'Connell, putting no tag team down to 3 players. There's also Tempest there. There's Northern Lights there. Who's going to get into those buildings first? Now the angle comes through. The camera does pan over as Red Foxes are reacting fantastically to the compound breaches that no tag team are putting on through.
Yeah, Red Fox is going to try and be a little bit cautious of their positioning. Also, be careful. No tag team. Tempest is just around the corner, going to try and get that arena under their control. They are not completely full forces, as Yannick going to be a little bit further away on the other side of the road, but seemed like actually instead of holding it, they're going to get back as a full team. I do really like this rotation from the side of no tag team, just avoiding the confrontation when you are not full forces. But a lot of teams here in El Pozo as you pan on over once again to this fight that hasn't ended quite yet. Fight of Airstation Mike against the forces of Team MOOPHEUS. And Hawkeye didn't get 3-man parties as I thought it might happen, but it might happen still later on as 4 Kings are just around the corner. But here it is, a few shots coming on through. Kedran, nicely done, was that mini. Doesn't follow on through as an extra on top of fake. But still, 3v4 can still get scary for Team MOOPHEUS. Nice angle here it is. ToWzErA going to be... Oh my god, that shot back from Kedran was that M4. Nice. Can't unfortunately find the flash as he does find cover just in time.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have a frag grenade to try and secure that kill. That would be a big impact. I think a frag grenade went out from Reggie Birdo, but again, didn't connect for now. Kedran is doing such a good job for his side. He's pushed back Airstation Mike time and time again. He's gotten 2 knockdowns so far. They haven't led to a kill, but as I said, it's pushed back Airstation Mike. It's forced them to kind of go, okay, we need to be really careful with how we rotate, how we position ourselves. They have to be on full alert, and it has given Hawkeye the opportunity to join up with the rest of his team MOOPHEUS players.
And we talked about the potential of a 3-man party from 4 Kings. We saw a few shots coming out from them, actually.
Yeah, true.
They just got the information and maybe wait for the fight to come on through to actually get through. But here's a few shots coming on through from Blaston.
Yeah, Kedran was put down to about 30 health, I believe. With that, as we do see BetterLuckNxTime, they hold the high ground outside of El Pozo, should I say? Not Hell Pozo. Well, it could be Hell Pozo for some of these teams if they don't survive. This next phase is shifted down south. Airstation Mike are not in it. Team MOOPHEUS are not in it. Huge Potential are not in it. Brute Force are just on the edge, as it's going to be essentially an El Pozo finish.
And you can see all these teams trying to rotate on through. BetterLuckNxTime going to try and follow up. PG-18 and also 4 Kings on the east there. They're going to try and get a nice position. But unfortunately, so many teams, they hold the edge. You can see Team Unique and also MJ-Esports. Team Unique, they're going to be clashing. Was an entry point from the likes of PG-18. Not looking great. Here it is. Unfortunately, PG-18, they're going to be losing a bunch of their members. Seems right off the bat. Yeah,
Nemeth taken out by the boom from Jokers. As now they're going to turn their attention on the other members as Team Unique also looking for the side of PG-18. Higgy gets taken down from MJ-Esports. This is the kill feed lining up in front of your eyes. They can barely keep up as Team Unique are just popping off against PG-18 right now, but also Team MOOPHEUS still going up against Airstation as 4 Kings are eliminated.
4 Kings, unfortunately, once again, last position. 2 games in a row. That's not looking great for them. Team Unique. Once again, the teams that did set up location at El Pozo first, they're the teams that are going to be dictating the course of this upcoming phase. And still, this fight is not done for the past few minutes. But it's going to have to end at some point because they are not in circles. So one team's going to have to do something, or rotate, or pull the trigger and go for the fight.
Yeah, and phase 4 tick damage is not nice to deal with. As we do see Brute Force. They kind of taken the decision to hold on to the edge of the field of El Pozo, hoping it would be a bit of a field finish, but it hasn't paid off. They now have to try and get into El Pozo from the edge where Red Foxes do hold on to. And I gotta say, Red Foxes are holding on to quite effectively.
Seems like also that the fight of Airstation Mike's and MOOPHEUS coming on through. Kedran was the first member getting flushed away instantly by Airstation Mike. Here it is. ToWzErA going to be also knocked away, and that's going to be Team MOOPHEUS eliminated by Airstation Mike. That fight, hey, that feels good, man.
Feels good, man, indeed. But the revive is going to have to come out. They're now going to have to try and get into this circle as quickly as possible. But they've got to get into a circle where they face off against the likes of MJ-Esports, Red Foxes, No Tag Team Jokers. It's going to get crazy. This is only the start of the battle for Airstation Mike.
And also you can see the huge potential. They're looking straight in their direction. They know exactly where Airstation Mike's in. And it is ticking. They got a bunch of cars, so they might make it just in time. If huge potential can't really connect those shots, they're going to try and take their chance. But so many teams in El Pozo, they're everywhere.
So Tempest hold a good spot inside that big compound all to themselves, so they hold a lot of angles. There's a lot of windows they can peek through, and because it's a big building, nades are not really going to affect them too much because they'll be able to dance around them. All the while, Brute Force, they've done a solid job to get into El Pozo from the edge as a 2-1 split, I believe.
Yeah. They got that cliff. That's just to be able to relax a little bit. They are in the circle. That's what you were looking for, just to get away from the field. Talked about Airstation Mike. They finally rotated, still under 5 on the likes of Huge Potential. And also ELGIGANTEN. There it is, though. PG-18 out in 14th position. A little bit unfortunate on this second game of the day. MJ, once again, just lasering on through on the last member. Hugstar of Team Airstation Mike might be taken out in 13th position. Here it is, very central on top of El Pozo. So many teams still in the good spot, but unfortunately, Airstation Mike, Huge Potential, and ELGIGANTEN, they're going to struggle a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested on how these players and teams feel about a city finish, such as El Pozo, with all the compounds, all the buildings kind of on their side, so to speak, whether they're a fan of it. But either way, Huge Potential looking for Airstation Mike. fEJK gets taken out, Hugstar gets taken out. That is the squad of Airstation Mike eliminated in 13th place. You called it earlier on. Huge Potential were waiting. They were primed, but now they're going to have to make their own way through into the circle as quickly as possible, because this Phase 5 is going to start closing in for these teams, for these players. ELGIGANTEN are still outside the circle. They're in a bit of a split right now. They'll individually look to make their way through. That's the thing, better luck next time. They're in El Pozo. They look for Huge Potential and they take down one member. Not before Tempest Wookie Bookie turns his attention and knocks down Faultlessly.
Yeah, it does get it in the back of its head. There's still one team, Huge Potential. They have to make it through. A few smokes coming on through. You're so far away. A smoke road will never reach inside the circle. So they're going to have to make a run for it or take a decision. If they have some vehicles in the back, that would be great. But I think they did explode earlier. So now a decision will be having to be forced out of their team. I'll talk about ELGIGANTEN, another team that has to rotate. They're going to very split on this one, which I think is a safe decision on their side. Well, it's safe. It is the better decision, but still not in a good position this time. So they're going to suffer this next rotation on Phase 5. As they're going to get gatekeeped by like 3-4 teams at the same time. That is just not looking good.
And pinched by the blue zone. It's definitely not looking good indeed. As now Jev from the side of Red Foxes does secure a frag onto Zolters. So that's going to put Huge Potential with one player left, and that's Grinhawk. But he's in the blue zone. He's most likely going to lose his life. Yes, he does. And Huge Potential eliminated in 12th place. 11 teams, 35 players left in the Phase 5 circle in a city. Damn, that's unusual. From again, it's something I haven't heavily experienced in PUBG PC comp. Going to be interesting to get the thoughts of players down the line at the end of today's games, as ELGIGANTEN trying to survive. ghostar gets taken down from Arctics on the side of BetterLuckNxTime, who hold a good compound, but KnorkiS, he's been able to get into the circle.
Yeah, he was the last member. Splitting off was the best decision, and even though he did just get one member, that's just completely worth it.
It just means he can hold a bit of a compound. Because it's in the city, he can kind of move around those little buildings around the edge of the circle and hope for the love of the PUBG gods that he doesn't get spotted out. And hopefully get into not only the placement points, but maybe even secure a frag, because I know in the past, KnorkiS, he's not afraid to be aggressive.
You got about 5-6 good buildings actually that are still available in that circle, so you can still see some rotations, but because you have so many road, it will be a little bit complicated for some of these teams to actually get in the circle. Team Unique, Istanbul Wildcats, they are a team that are going to have to try and do something. And the last member, once again, you said earlier, of ELGIGANTEN, KnorkiS, he's going to have the hardest time to get in that phase.
Yeah, the two teams I think have the best position is Tempest and no tag team. Tempest especially because, like I said previously, they hold a big warehouse all to themselves, so they have multiple angles out the windows. And as I said, they're going to be able to dance around any kind of frag grenades get thrown that gets thrown in their direction. No tag team also hold a bit of a 2-2 split inside that one building, so they're holding multiple angles and multiple protection as MJ-Esports trying to get into the Gladiator Dome as Red Fox's Kofest crouching down, just trying to keep himself alive.
Going to try and keep himself alive as he is split away from Javeles and Metabay, which I think can get a little bit risky, but we saw in the long run for ELGIGANTEN, it is working out for them.
I don't disagree with that.
Full positioning and also just trying maybe get a little bit sneaky in the late game, that can work out for them. Jokers, they're also in a position where they are split. Then you have two members remaining on their side. It's going to be the Tab and DeBoom. DeBoom getting very close to the last member of ELGIGANTEN. Might pick a fight though. Team Unique, we talked about them. They're out of circle on the west side. They're going to try and make it through to this arena building. They got there, but unfortunately still under fire by that one split member of Jokers, DeBoom.
So do you see one member of no tag team knocking deep from the side of Northern Lights, but I believe that revive will come through successfully because they have a compound, and that's the thing. Like we are, in my opinion, we are going to get to the point where we will have a bit of a standoff as the teams that are inside the buildings in the circle in this next phase will just kind of look to stay where they are. Will have like little to no movement. It's just going to be the teams that have to go into circle that will potentially get caught out as Des out from the side of Team Unique. Does get knocked out by the Tab from Jokers.
Huge for the Tab.
Wow, that is ridiculous. Great play coming out from Jokers. Going to secure a couple of more knockdowns and a couple of frags. All the while, KnorkiS from the side of ELGIGANTEN does secure a kill for his side. Another frag point coming out. This is starting to blow up, no pun intended, as we hit the 25-minute mark. There's still 11 teams. There's still 30 players alive, Max. No, make that 29. As standing on the side of Team Unique does get taken out from OK Bro. Northern Lights, they're looking for a position. This next phase did go down south. Still no tag team in the circle. Still Tempest inside the circle. Still Brute Force, although they are a bit of a 2-1 split, they are still inside the circle, as are Red Foxes. Although Javeles from the side of Red Foxes does get taken out by Brute Force as ELGIGANTEN are eliminated finally in 11th place.
Finally, you have to
well, sorry, not finally. I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
My apologies, but he was battling against the circle time and time again. That's kind of what I meant.
It's just a battle against time. But Brute Force talked about them in the southern section of this map. They did get finally back together in that one building. Going to be way easier for them to defend. And also that positioning is great for the next phase against the likes of No Tag Team and also Tempest. Brute Force, once again, they had the location on the west. A few teams still high up north might have to rotate. These roads are going to be huge for that next phase.
I was just going to say Northern Lights, though. I was just pointing at the map screen right now. They hold a tough entrance into circle because they're pinched between No Tag Team and Istanbul Wildcats. Apocalypse has been able to get into the circle, although BSD and Genza are still in that compound outside the circle. All the while, Tempest Hanny looking for a couple of shots off. The Tab gets taken out. Jokers are eliminated in 10th place. 9 teams. 26 players left going as we hit the 26-minute mark. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. Northern Lights are eliminated at the hands of both Team Unique and Tempest.
Greg, one-man army comes on through, takes out the picture, Northern Light, but though, better luck next time, a little bit higher up north, they have to make it through. They did find a compound for themselves towards the proximity of MJ-Esports, so they're just going to be safe for just a little while longer as slowly the clock is ticking. The phase will be ending extremely soon. Which building will be encircled, which teams will have to rotate, we'll see very, very soon, but this is going to be huge. We're going to see the kill feed just rampage on through.
I think it's going to be a southern shift in circle, not a huge one, but I definitely think it's going to go into favor of the likes of Brute Force and Tempest, as we will find out right now. Yort on the side of Tempest with those grenades thrown out in the direction of Istanbul Wildcats. They hold a little shack, the hut. They're now pinched behind the fence of that warehouse entrance as we hit the 27-minute mark. I said it was going to be a south circle shift. Still Tempest inside it. Still Brute Force. So Red Foxes, MJ, and Better Luck Next Time and No Tag Team all have to make their way in.
Yeah, Istanbul Wildcats, they might have a little bit of time to breathe because no tag team, Team Unique, BetterLuckNxTime, and MJ-Esports, they were going to have to pull on an offensive for the northern side. Might get them a little bit busy. 3 of their members actually focused on that northern section. Only remaining is going to be Hjort taking care of that 3-man squad.
Exactly. So it's going to be a potential opportunity for Istanbul Wildcats to become a bit of a third-man party side if they get the opportunity. But now, this is BetterLuckNxTime. MJ-Esports both fighting against the blue zone, both fighting against the edge of the circle as they make their way through with the smoke grenades being thrown out by both teams. Try to create that wall, all the while it's not stopping BetterLuckNxTime from throwing grenades in the direction of MJ-Esports. Now it's starting to close in. That tick damage is going to be strong if you get caught out in the blue zone as they look to run across. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. As the kill feed is popping off, MJ-Esports taking out one member, another member on the side of BetterLuckNxTime, but strives to get taken out. MJ-Esports are eliminated at the hands of Fate and the rest of the BetterLuckNxTime side.
BetterLuckNxTime, they're the team that does get just in time into the next phase, but now, no tag team, they're going to get involved also if they try and give up their location to go towards the likes of Tempest. Here it is. That's going to be maybe the end. It will be. Oh my god, those grenades. No tag team is eliminated in 6th position.
BetterLuckNxTime with the frag of the Sentry Force side. Arctic's coming out strong. Peeking behind that wall. Is it going to be just inside circle? Great job coming out from BetterLuckNxTime. Great job coming out from Arctics. But this is the final phase. Faultlessly gets taken down by the play zone. We are down to 5 teams. Still 13 players left alive in the final phase. Red Foxes are eliminated at the hands of Brute Force as we're down to 4 teams. 10 players, 3 teams. This is crazy, Max.
Absolutely insane. First game of Miramar today. Brute Force, they do have a 2-1 split. They're going to try and march on forward, but still Istanbul Wildcats, they stayed prone. They waited for the prime opportunity to try and get involved. Like 3-4 teams got taken out of the picture. Way better, easy entry point for Istanbul Wildcats, but still Tempest. They are the team that's closest to the dead center, and they can just hold these rotations from both of these remaining teams.
I said it was going to be at the hands of Tempest, but they do have the man advantage. They have a 4-man squad, kept going strong. Hjort, Klebe, Hani, and Wookie Bucky all ready to get those frags, all ready to get those kills. All the while, Istanbul Wildcats BSD is reviving Genzo. They still have a couple of grenades on their side. Klebe, he's peeking his way through outside that window, knowing they don't directly have to go anywhere for now. Who has the most first aid kits? Who has the most energy drinks that can keep themselves alive as this circle is going to start closing in right now in the final phase. Phase 9, Maken knocks down Genzo. So who's going to get the last couple of kills? Another knockdown coming out in the hands of Klebe on the side of AmerouuS as Apocalypse knocks down Maken. This is just knockdown after knockdown, frag after frag. Hawk on the side of Brute Force looking for Klebe. Great reload coming out, although Klebe does get clipped up, does get knocked down, and this is Brute Force eliminating 3rd place. Down to the final 2 teams, Istanbul Wildcats and Tempest.
Yeah, that's going to be 2 teams, a 4v2 scenario. Going to be regenerating back up Kleb, so he's just getting back up on the board. Istanbul Wildcats, they don't have the building, but still it is shifting slowly away from the building. And look at that positioning from BSD of Istanbul Wildcats. He can just try and shut down every single member coming out of the side of Tempest.
Oh,
here it is, Apocalypse. Going to be getting that push out from the side of Tempest, but unfortunately that peek on the side will be enough to take him out. Apocalypse will be knocked out. That's going to be now only BSD remaining the last side of Istanbul Wildcats. Can he do the moves? Can he do the plays against the full forces of Tempest?
He hasn't seen him.
Look to the side. There will not be enough. Tempest finally secured himself that redeeming chicken dinner on Miramar.
Man, it took them a day and a half, but I told you they'd redeem themselves. I said that I believed that they could come out strong. They held that warehouse in El Pozo, and it came in clutch for them. But not only, because they held the center of the circle right, and any team could have potentially have rushed in and looked at a compound breach, right? They could have. And Tempest could have gotten taken down, but nobody did. They held the angles because Istanbul Wildcats at one point we mentioned they could have third-partied, but Tempest held on to their angles. Hjort was holding on to the direction that Istanbul Wildcats were in the final couple of phases. But again, the city finished from El Pozo. I'm really interested in what these teams think about it and what these players kind of thought. It's not something we normally see, but it was damn exciting.
I loved it. Just the amount of action at the end and that kill feed just going absolute ham here. It is one of the early fights coming on through Airstation Mike against the full team of Team MOOPHEUS. And that fight went on for actually just like about 2 to 3 phases. Unfortunately, at the end, there was a 3-man party from Team Huge Potential, and they take out the remaining members of Airstation Mike on their lowest rotation towards the likes of El Pozo, PG18, also Team Unique. Just a lot of rotations. Team Unique, that positioning that they had on the western side, actually allowed them to just get a bunch of kills, especially on the team of ELGIGANTEN. The Istanbul Wildcats, that was when they lost their first member, and that was the 3-man party I was referring to earlier. Airstation Mike taken out of the picture by Huge Potential, and then they just still had to make it through such a big amount of land to get towards El Pozo. There was no chance of that happening.
Man, that circle, those phases were absolutely crazy. Like we had, I think it was like phase 7, we had nearly 30 players left going in this game. As I said, it's not common. It reminded me of Sanhok, you know. We didn't see that much third partying, but we saw a lot of kills going on towards the end. Jokers got eliminated there at that stage. Grag from Team Unique came in clutch, but the player of the game, in my opinion, is Artix. Is it? Yeah, Artix.
Artix.
No, I think it's Artix.
That one grenade.
That one
you
grenade.
Might see. Here it is. I think that's the one grenade.
Yeah, Artix. Like, it was a great grenade initially from No Tag Team, but look at that. Boom, went the dynamite. Even a second grenade came out just to secure that squad wipe. And man, better luck next time, said to No Tag Team. Better luck next time, guys.
Just on top of him.
I know, right?
Pulls on the head of Apocalypse, then another peek comes on through. And he did put down to mid HP, but then it was just BSD. I think he had a good positioning, but unfortunately that van was not in the right angle. He had to give away his location, and his positioning got taken out of the picture. Still, congratulations to Tempest, getting that first game that they were really looking for on that first day.
Not only were they looking for it, they needed it right now, as this was the point standings in match 6. Second game of the day. 4Kings, the only team to get 0 points, unfortunately, with Team Moots 1, PG18, it moves on up. But these teams getting kind of 4 points up above Airstation Mike, Huge Potential, and MJ-Esports. It's funny because those 3 teams end up kind of fighting against each other and taking each other out outside of the circle. As we do see the top 8 coming on through. 5 kills for Tempest, 10 placement points, 15 in total. But better luck next time. 9 kills, 13 points in total.
The reason why is that they had such a high building and they could just gatekeep a lot of these teams actually trying to get in circle.
That nade shot, taking down 3 members and that's 3 kills.
That gatekeep and the grenade together.
Great play, but this is see, Arctic's 5 kills alone. 3 of them came for that grenade. Brilliant play coming out from him. That's how important, that's how strong that nade meta is. But of course, you got to be able to cook those properly, and he did in that situation. Is the tab from Jokers being the damage leader, but it's very even. What, like 9 of the top 10 all had over 500 damage. Oh. That's so close because they were just so many fights going on towards the end, and they were all kind of popping shots off towards each other. But man, great first game in Miramar. El Pozo finish. El Pozo, Max. That's brilliant.
And you had El Pozo. Maybe San Martin will be the next phase going on through. Thank you very much for watching this first Miramar game of the day. Another one is coming in just a few short minutes.